So your first one to look at is this one right here. Okay. Have a good look at it. Get your answers ready. And in a few seconds, I shall say go once you guys are all ready. What is the answer today for Image? I posted it earlier today. It was Escape from LA, actually. Yeah, it was the scoreboard from Escape from LA during the basketball scene. Go, folks. Put your answers in the chat now. Okay, so we have straight away, we have AJ Bazzuto, 5150, says Christine. Muckman says Christine. Brandon Collins says The Fog. Paul H says The Fog. Brett Patrick says The Fog. Dean Maloney says Assault on Precinct 13. Max Wren says The Fog. Chester Franklin says Halloween 1978, Annie Brackett. Marisol says Annie in Halloween 1978. Okay, let's have a look at it. It is actually, and let me just find out who got it first. I think it was... let me just have a look. I think the first person to answer this correctly was Brandon. Brandon got it right. It is Sandy Fidel. Nancy Loomis drives with Kathy Williams, Janet Leigh in The Fog. There we go. Congratulations to Brandon. Brandon's keeping score again tonight. So he wanted to play along as well. I did offer to sort of say, look, why don't I just give you the answers and then you can concentrate on scoring. And he said, no, I want to play along. So, but that's cool. That's absolutely cool. Let's move on to the next one, which is this one here. Does anybody know what Carpenter movie this is from? What we got? We got some fog. What looks like telephone wires or something like that. When I say go, you can put your answer in the chat. Evil Alex, don't jump the gun. Don't jump the gun. Kingslayer, look, everybody's going. Your answers don't count. They only count after I put my message in the chat. Here we go. There we go. Looks like Jason comes in first with Village of the Damned. We've got Max Wren, Village of the Damned. Marisol says Village of the Damned. Oh, no, Marisol says he hasn't said go. Max Wren says Village of the Damned. Count says Starman. Dean Maloney says Escape from New York. A lot of you saying Village of the Damned. It is, of course, Village of the Damned when Christopher Reeve's wife, Barbara Chaffee, played by Karen Khan, before she unalives herself and throws herself off the coastline there, commits suicide. After that horrible scene in the kitchen with her hand plunging it into the pan of boiling water or whatever it is she puts it into. But yeah, horrible scene. I think it's really underrated, is Village of the Damned. I think it deserves another watch. I think there's some great stuff in there. There really is. Okay, so I think it was Wraith who got that first. Yeah, it was. Congratulations, Jason. Wraith gets Village of the Damned. Correct. And a point. Okay. Again, folks, don't post anything until you see go in the chat. I'll post the message in the chat when you can all go. But your next one is this particular one here. What Carpenter movie is that frame from? And get your answers ready. And go. Another great Carpenter film. But then they're all great films here. Okay, let's have a look at some of these answers here. We have Kingslayer within the Mouth of Madness. Wraith says Escape from New York. Brett Patrick says Escape from New York. Logan says Christine. Bionic Zombie says Escape from New York. Nick says Starman. Myers Fan says Escape from New York. Count 1970 says Escape from New York. Anthony White Rose says The Fog. Jason Lidkia says Escape from New York. The general consensus is that it's Escape from New York. But it's Starman at the start when the alien entity's kind of closing in on Karen Allen's house. I know, you all thought it was the scene at the start of Escape from New York, didn't you? At Liberty Island Police Center or whatever it's called. And the helicopters are doing the kind of spotlight, but it's not. It's actually from Starman. So I think it was it Nick who got that first? Let's have a look. It was indeed Nick who said Starman. There we go. Congratulations, Nick. Myers Fan. Fuck my life. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Take a look at it, prepare your answer, and then I'll put my message in the chat, post it, and you can start adding your answers in. There it is. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, we have Daz coming in with... let me just move up here. Daz coming in with Christine. Nick says They Live. Brandon says Big Trouble in Little China. Kingslayer says Christine. Count says Prince of Darkness. Brett Patrick says Body Bags. Evil Alex says Big Trouble in Little China. Chester Franklin says Christine. Bionic Zombie says Prince of Darkness. Jason says Prince of Darkness. Colonel Mustard says The Fog. And Jamie says Big Trouble. Okay. Congratulations to Brandon, because it is Big Trouble in Little China when White Tiger, played by Jun Kyoto Liu, makes an exit into that kind of door in the wall there. Well done, Brandon. I think you got 2 points now, right? Okay, so the next one that we're going to do, you get a point for naming the film. You also get a bonus point for naming the actor as well. Okay, so I'm going to move over to it now. Don't say anything yet. Hold on there. You finally have decent internet connection, Brandon. That's excellent. Good. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, straight in is Max Wren 82 with Starman and Ted White. Jason also says Ted White and Starman. Colonel Mustard says The Fog. Brandon says Starman, Ted White. Kingslayer says Prince of Darkness. Knew it was Ted White, but no clue on the film, says Daz. It is Starman and Ted White. He plays the deer hunter in the film. And he's there with Jenny at the truck stop. It's the scene where he brings the deer in on the bonnet of his car, and Starman brings the deer back to life, and he really takes umbrage to that. Really cool scene. And it took me a while when I knew the face, and I was thinking, how the hell do I know who this guy is? This is, of course, Jason from Friday the 13th Part 4. But yeah, well done to to Max Wren for getting that one correct first. He gets 2 points, Brandon. 2 points for Max Wren for getting both of those. Okay, next we have this shot here. Don't post anything just yet. Wait until I give the word. And go, post your answers. Brandon says that's the same look Ted gave Corey Feldman every day on the final chapter. I think so, yeah. Okay, Bionic Zombie says Escape from New York. Daz says Escape from New York as well. And then we have Nick saying Ghosts of Mars. Mookman says Escape from New York. Colonel Mustard says, what the fuck is that? Wraith says Escape from New York. Max Wren says Vampires. Count says Egg. If you know, you know. Egg? Egg? Escape from New York. Bomb goes off in the opening. It's Escape from New York. Where we have Liberty Island Security Control take out the escaped prisoners that are paddling across. They've managed to break out from Manhattan and are paddling across. Looks like a shot from Alien. It's kind of similar to the Starman shot that we had earlier on, where the entity's approaching the house. Andrew says, Christ, I'm lagging. Bionic Zombie, you get the point for that one. Oh, yes, you do. Yeah, you do. You were the first one on my screen here to get Escape from New York correct. Let's have a look at the chat. Looks like a shot from Alien. Did you think so? You can actually see the body of the guy because you get that. They blow up the raft and then the body goes flying through the air and you can see it on the sort of far right under just before the Only Sans logo. You can see this kind of half a body or whatever flying through the air. It drops into the water, doesn't it? Egg is Carl Pilkington's stock answer to any quiz. I thought as well, like, isn't it the chasers in the UK, whenever they're running out of time and the question hasn't been read out enough, one of the chasers just shouts cheese all the time. That's his kind of panic answer all the time. Chester says, I need a damn point. Oh, don't worry about it, Chester. You'll get there. You'll get there. Maybe you can get this one, Chester. You are pretty good at this. You got all the ones during the week. See if you can get this one. What would that be? Okay, Brandon says, Max, Wren, and I are tied at 2 apiece. Get ready to go, folks, and post your answers now. Blair Hathaway says, I thought it was Godzilla, freaking classic. Okay, so we have Juicebox Willie with Halloween. Jamie says Assault on Precinct 13. Max Wren says Christine. Wraith says The Fog. Nick says Assault on Precinct 13. Count says Christine. We have Brett Patrick with The Fog. Brandon with Assault on Precinct 13. I can tell you that not one person has got this correct. Not one person has got this correct. What does it look like? If I say the word bike, bike is your clue. Everybody's stumped. Oh, there we go. We finally got it. Wraith gets it with In the Mouth of Madness. It's the shot where the denim cyclist is passing the point of no return. You know when Sam Elliott's driving down the street and his headlights shine on the back of the guy and he goes past him? It's kind of signifying the sort of point of no return. Yeah, there's quite a few bike scenes in this film. And this is the kid with the denim jacket that he goes past. Congratulations to Wraith for getting that one correct. Oh, Paul, you should give it another go, mate. In the Mouth of Madness deserves another watch for sure. It's great fun. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Colonel Mustard. Who's going to get that? Wraith got it. I'm shit at this. Okay, what about this one then? This one's slightly easier, I think. See if anybody can get this one. I'll put my note in the chat. Just hold a second. Don't put your answer in quite yet. And 3, 2, 1, go. Ah, dear, this is interesting. Some of the answers on this are really interesting because we have Bionic Zombie with Assault on Precinct 13. We've got Jukebox Willie with Halloween. Max Wren with Halloween. Myers fan says The Fog. Daz says Halloween. Muckman says They Live. Colonel Mustard says Halloween. Loomis's Crabby Old Hand. You've got the right hand, but the wrong film. It's actually Escape from New York. And it's when, well, it isn't the right hand technically, but it's the agent there opening the pod that Donald Pleasance gets into, the president. Just before they eject him into Manhattan before the plane crashes. But yeah, Paul, you get that one correct, buddy. Congratulations. Chester, I think it looks different on Darren's screen. What's that? Yeah, it does, Chester. When you hit your answer in, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be the first. If you're on the money with everyone else, 9 times out of 10, you're going to see your name first. It's what comes through to my screen that counts. And Paul Count 1970, got that one first. He was the first person to answer this one. President of what? Jeremy Beadle. Did you rewatch all these films and look for a shot? Yes. Well, I didn't rewatch them. I skimmed through them. So last Sunday, I don't know if you saw my member stream, but I talked about it. I spent the best part of the sort of like 4 or 5 hours on Sunday scrubbing through the films, looking for moments which I thought were a good screen grab to kind of fox you guys with. But yeah, I get all the films because I've got them all stored on my NAS, ANAS, NAS, here at the side of me. I was talking about this on my member stream the other day. I did a little tour of my room live, and I was talking about my NAS, which is a network attached storage system, and everybody said they thought I said my NADS. But no, my NAS. It's stored on my NAS. All the films are stored on my NAS, so it was easy to bring them off and onto my computer. Easy to bring my NADs off. Jesus Christ. Okay, moving on to the next one. Here we go with that. Can anybody tell me what movie that is from? Don't put it in there yet, folks. Hold until I post in the chat. They name those after the rapper from the 90s. Wasn't it like also some sort of fuel that they used in Fast and the Furious or something like that? Nas or something like that. Nobody put their answer in yet. No one said go. What's going on? No one said go. Those answers that are in there don't count. Okay. Go now. Back to the Future. Bionic Zombie says They Live. Brandon Collins says Escape from LA. We've got They Live from Muckman. We've got They Live thinking Escape is a red herring from Daz. Escape from LA says Count. White Rose says Escape from LA. And Andrew says Ghosts of Mars. Brandon's correct. It is Escape from LA, and it's the president plays the wrong message at the end of the movie because Snake's got the doomsday device. Escape from New York when Houck is talking Snake. No, Chester, it's actually LA with the president at the end there. President played by Cliff Robertson, I think. Okay. Slip first time. I literally submit them as soon as it comes up and go. Yeah, no, I know it's easy to, especially when if I start kind of going off topic a little bit, people are like, oh, bugger it, I'm going. Let's move on to this next one here, see what you guys think. Remember, guys, don't post until I say so. Let me just confirm who got that last one. I think it was Brandon. Yeah, Brandon, it was you. Have we got a score update, Brandon? Don't post anything yet, guys. Do we have a score update? Yeah, Escape from LA's got a great ending to it. I think you're in the lead, aren't you, Brandon? You're in the lead with 3. Okay. Right. Go. There we go. Which movie is this from? And you get a point if you can tell me who it is who's dead on the floor. The name of the character. Okay, we have a few here. Few suggestions. We have... Sorry, my screen's jumping around. We've got Vampires from Muckman. Wraith says Assault on Precinct 13. Whoops, sorry, my screen's jumping here. Brandon says Assault on Precinct 13. Paul H says Assault on Precinct 13. Max Wren says Assault on Precinct 13. Bionic Zombie, Assault on Precinct 13 says Zoe as well. It is Assault on Precinct 13. And the character is called White Warlord, played by Frank Doubleday. And it's the moment that I think Lawson shoots him. See if anybody got the name. Brandon got the name as well. White Warlord. Brandon, did you get... So Brandon, you get a point. And also... who else gets a point? Wraith gets a point as well. Well done on that one, yeah. Frank Doubleday getting shot there. Frank Doubleday, who also plays... Oh my God, what's the character's name he plays in Escape from New York? If you're not in the air in 30 seconds, he dies. If you touch me, he dies. That guy. That's Frank Doubleday. And he also plays the guy in Assault on Precinct 13 who executes the girl at the ice cream van. Romero, that's it. He's called Romero. I forgot. Myers Fan says, I'm too tired for this shit. I'm just going to watch the Masters, grab the points and enjoy the crowd. Okay, right. Can anybody get this one? Just the film title on this next one. Cue your answers up, folks. And then Juicebox Willie, just calm yourself. Put your answers in now, folks. Colonel Mustard jumped it as well. We have Paul was first in saying egg. Then Paul H says the fog. Wraith says the fog. Daz says Christine. Chester says the fog. Colonel Mustard says the fog. Nick says the fog. Max Wren in the Mouth of Madness. Juicebox the fog. The fog. The fog. Lots of people saying the fog. It is the fog. The start of the movie when we get this shot of this. I think he's like a random policeman that's in this opening scene. You know, when it's the witching hour and they're flipping between stores and petrol stations and all the different stuff that's going on. You get this shot of this kind of, I think he's a policeman. I don't think he appears in the rest of the movie because I tried to find out who he was in the cast and I couldn't at all. I'm guessing he was somebody that worked on the production or something like that just stood in. But if anybody does know who this actor or character is, then pop it in the chat. But I couldn't find out who he was. He just randomly pops up and then he's gone. One time I got it right, hit the button too early, for fuck's sake. Yep. Why do I not remember this scene at all? He's literally on screen for like a second, Paul. That's it. Yeah, his precinct's saving money on electricity, I guess, by having only that little desk lamp. Is it the Coast Guard? No, maybe he is a Coast Guard. A cop or a sheriff? We don't know. I think he's a cop. But then you do have the kind of sheriff guy later on, but this guy's not with him at all later on in the film. It's just this one random scene. So I've called him a policeman. Either way, that's irrelevant because it was the film title anyway. But yeah, congratulations to Paul H. Gets it correct. Nice one, buddy. Okay, next. And we used to have one of these at home. Something similar anyway. Anybody know what Carpenter movie this is? Don't say anything yet. Answers in the chat now. Okay. Count 1970. Paul says egg again. Paul H says the fog. Wraith says the fog. Daz says Christine. Chester says the fog, as does Colonel Mustard, Nick, Juicebox Willie, and Don Mac as well. All of you saying the fog there. The actual correct answer has anybody got the... Am I reading the wrong answers here? One second, folks. Apologies for that. My screen had dropped and I was reading the answers from the last one. Okay, Daz says the thing. White Rose says the fog. Myers fan says the thing. Mookman says Halloween. Wraith says the thing. Jason says the thing. Max says Starman. Brandon says the thing. Lenny TS1 says Christine. And F Stop Cornea says Starman. Correct answer is actually the thing. And it's Palmer changing the VHS. So Daz, you get the point for that one. Congratulations, sir. We should have a little fuck, of course is the thing. It's Palmer watching The Price is Right. I just Daz, apologies for that. My chat had dropped and I couldn't. I was reading the answers for the last one. Apologies about that. Duke says, I can't get one right, which means I'm less of a nerd than I thought. You misegged me, says Paul. Yeah, congratulations to Daz. Brandon, where does that... So Brandon has 4, Wraith has 3, and Max Wren has 2. Okay, now, this next one. I will be so disappointed if Count 1970 doesn't get this. Cue your answers up now, folks. 2 points on offer here. I want the film and the actor. Film and actor. 2 points on offer. So don't say anything yet. 3, 2, 1, go. Everybody got that one. That was too easy. That was too easy, was that one. Far too easy. First answer that was correct was Jason Lidkia, Prince of Darkness, and Alice Cooper. Street Schizo stabs Etchison with part of a bike. Remember that? The blood's jetting out behind him. It's a great sequence. What a name, though. Street Schizo. You know what? Juicebox Willie, I get that. I get that you thought it might have been vampires. Just shows you I submitted it instantly. It said go. I was about 20th. On my screen, I jumped the gun because someone said something in the chat and I thought it was the queue coming up. Yeah, there were a few that were instant when I pushed the chat button. So I'm guessing a couple of you jumped the gun, but I can't tell who did because they all landed after my my message. So that was Cooper's own prop from his concert. Was it really? Yeah, it's you used to do it with a mic stand on stage, right? I remember that. I think I've seen him do it that as well. Dad says I had to rewatch this one as I didn't like it first time. It comes third after Halloween and The Thing now for me. Yeah, it's a great film. Really creepy, really unsettling. Liquid Satan. What a great concept. Okay, moving on. We have this frame here. Don't say anything yet. He used it in Nightmare Returns. That's where I've seen it, Paul. Yeah. Nobody say anything yet. I'll put my message in the chat shortly. All we need here is... actually, I'm going to do this as a 2-pointer. No, Muckman, don't jump the gun. Nobody jump the gun. What is people doing? I haven't said yes. This is going to be a 2... All of those of you that are putting it in the chat, wait. This is a 2-pointer. So I want the name of the film and the name of the character whose hand that is. Okay? I'll give you a few more seconds. Name of the film and the name of the character. You'll get if you just get the film correct, that's fine. I'll take whoever gets the film title correct. I'll take that first. But if somebody gets the character correct, then that's cool as well. You get an extra point. There we go. Go now. Okay, we've got Nick with They Live. Bionic Zombie with The Fog. Buck Flowers, says Max Rennie. The Fog Sailor who gets his eyes mushed in. The Fog, Eyeless Fisherman. The Fog, Ben Gardner. They Live. John Narder, says Daz. Brandon Collett says The Fog. Muckman says They Live. Jason says Assault on Precinct 13. Napoleon. Myers fan says The Fog. Okay. The film is The Fog, and it's Dick Baxter who comes back from the dead, played by James Canning. So no one got the character that I can see. No one got the character correct. But the first person to say the fog was Bionic Zombie. Congratulations. You were the first person to get it right. So what were the scores, Brandon? You still in the lead, I'm guessing? Should change this episode to the hand quiz. Jesse, you can't give up. That's not very sportsmanlike. Brandon's got 4. Wraith's got 2. Sorry, Wraith's got 3. Okay. Okay, cool. Let's move on to the next one then. Can any of you get this particular frame? Remember to wait for the prompt to put your answers in the chat. So Brandon 4, Wraith 3. And we're going to go in 3, 2, 1, go. I thought this was a tough one. Okay, I'm seeing a few correct answers come through. We have Nick gets it correct. It's Holly in They Live as she prepares to smash Nada over the head with that bottle. You remember when she smashes it over the head, pushes him through that glass condo window, and he just kind of falls down the sort of mountainside. But yeah, that is Meg Foster from Behind. And I think it was Nick, wasn't it, who got that correct? Yeah, Nick was the first one with the correct answer there. Wraith also got it correct. Paul got it correct as well. Evil Alex got it correct. So did Myers fan number 1. Myers number 1 fan. Sauce Benade 5467 got it right as well. Zoe Kavanagh actually named her as well and says They Live Holly. Brandon said They Live. Bionic Zombie said They Live. Colonel Mustard got bored and said Carry On Up the Jungle. There's a bit of foliage there, right? On the left. Okay, moving on to the next one. You get a point for the film and the actor. The film and the actor. Don't say anything yet. If you can just do the film, that's fine. If you can just do the actor, that's fine. But there are 2 points going here. Darren on the toilet. Here we go. Go, folks. And the first person to answer this correctly is Jamie. Good one, Jamie. It is Peter Jason who plays Gilbert in They Live as he's watching the helicopters from above. Did anybody get Peter Jason in the chat? I think I did see someone got it. So, Jamie, you get 1 point for getting They Live, but I do think someone said Peter Jason as well. Let me just have a look quickly. Yeah, Jason Lidkia also gets a point there for getting Peter Jason correct. Peter Jason, who'd been in quite a few of Carpenter's movies. He's wearing glasses. And yes, you got a point. Congratulations. Congratulations, Jamie. Okay, this is moving on a bit quicker than I thought. You guys are really good at this. Some more than others. 66 of you watching at the moment. Thank you so much for tuning in, folks. If you do want to like the stream, that would be really nice. And if you aren't subscribed to the channel, then please consider it. I'd really appreciate that. Okay, next one is, and remember, wait until you get the word to put your answer in the chat. This one here. Which movie is this? Premiership Darts, Darren? Is that what you're watching? Just need the movie on this one, folks, and you can put your answers in the chat now. Michael Strong says Halloween 3. Carpenter didn't direct that. AJ Bazutu says Village of the Damned. Wraith says Prince of Darkness. Muckman says Starman. In the Mouth of Madness says Max. Zoe says Starman. Village of the Damned says Brandon. Village of the Damned says Evil Alex. Nick says Village of the Damned as well, as does Jason Lidkia. We've got F-Stop Cornea with Starman. Colonel Mustard says Christine. Nobody's right. Absolutely nobody has got this one correct so far. It is somebody walking into a kitchen, which you can probably see anyway. Halloween 2? He didn't direct it. Well, he kind of did. He kind of did. Now you're just throwing random Big Trouble in Little China movies in there now. Daz, you've got it. It is Big Trouble in Little China. Like I said, you're just throwing random Big Trouble in Little China titles in there. Here we go. Look, it's Gracie Law as she enters the kitchen at the start of the film. It took a while. That one took a while. Congratulations, Daz. I don't think anyone else got it before you. I'm just looking because we had so many answers on that one. Loads of people thought it was Village of the Damned. And yeah. You can't remember. So it's just after Miao Yin's been kidnapped and they all reconvene at that apartment to discuss what their next move's gonna be. Okay, so we have Brandon on 4, Wraiths on 3, Nick, Max, Ren, Bionic Daz, and Jason Lidkier with 2. Okay, we'll move on to the next one then. Which John Carpenter directed movie is this? Don't say anything yet. You have one. I think it was just that it's just a thing. There's a lot of people that have probably got one, Jamie. So I think he's just keeping the score to the ones that are in, the main scores, the main contenders at the moment. Nobody said go. Everybody's putting their. No, folks. Wait. Who said go? Okay, all those that have gone already, they're disqualified and go. I thought this was a tough one. I thought this was a pretty tough one, but everybody seems to be getting it. Most of you are getting it. Brandon Collins gets it first. It is They Live. And it's the scene where Nada's outside. I think he's sleeping outside, isn't he? And he's watching the TV through the window. Yeah, there you go. They Live. Congratulations, Brandon. So you're now in the lead with 5. So it's 5 to you. Wraith has 3. Nick, Max, Bionic, Daz, and Jason are on 2. Okay, next one, folks. I like this next one because it could be a number of Carpenter films. There we go. Get your answers ready. Don't jump the gun. Wait until I say so, folks. Hold. I feel like what's his name? Maximus. Hold. Yeah, just don't jump the gun. And you can go in 3, 2, 1, go. Jason says The Fog. Max says, oh, they're all going too fast. Max says Assault on Precinct 13. Paul H says Assault on Precinct 13. Nick says Christine. Wraith says Assault on Precinct 13. We have Paul saying Prince of Darkness. Most of you are thinking, are saying Assault on Precinct 13 there. And it is. It's the view from the precinct in Assault on Precinct 13 when they're looking out the window after some gunshots have gone off and they can see nothing out there whatsoever. Terrific. So that was it Nick who got it first? 1 second. No, Max. Max Wren got that first. Max Wren 82. So that now leaves Max on 3 points. So it's Brandon with 5, Wraith with 3, and Max with 3 as well. It's tightening up. Oh, Assault for me is what I'm so hoping that they give us a 50th anniversary 4K of this film. It turns 50 this year. 1976, wasn't it? It'd be really cool if they do that. Somebody did tell me in the chat some time ago that they'd heard that it was going to come out this year. Assault is Hans Zimmer's favorite movie score. Really? Excellent. Excellent. It's a great score. I have it on a CD with Darkstar, which just sounds like a ZX Spectrum loading up. But yeah, love Assault on Precinct 13. Okay, next one is this. Can anybody get this film? They did a 4K restoration already for Assault not too long ago. So the restoration's done, but they haven't released it, have they? Because I've not seen a release for it anywhere. But somebody had told me that a restoration has been done, which would be great. I mean, maybe it's going to get a theatrical release or something. Okay, folks, post your answers now. Christine. A lot of you thinking it's Christine. Just see who somebody has got it correct. 2 of you have got it correct, in fact. First person to get it correct was Bionic Zombie. Well done, sir. It is Escape from LA. Snake in pursuit of the horseback henchman. It's a pretty, I mean, Escape from New York's got Escape from LA, excuse me, has got some pretty ropey action scenes in it. And there's a shot in this particular scene where he kind of does a jump and lands on the back of like a pickup truck or something, and it just looks so hokey. Yeah. It has some real strong points, does the film? It really does, but it's just let down by some massive like FX flaws and character decisions and characters as well that are just annoying in this film. My ex-wife hated the Assault on Precinct 13 score, and she'd get pissed when I played it. It was then restored, then brought to theaters. Now we're just waiting for them to put it on those 4K discs. Okay. It came in the US, it came to theaters? Really? It certainly hasn't done that in the UK. Oh, I'd love to see it on the big screen. Monkman says, I've only seen Escape from LA once when it first came out at the cinema. The surfing scene is a bag of shite. Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's dreadful. The CGI was pretty rough in that one. Peter Fonda surfing the LA River or whatever. Yeah, there's some really... it's like almost like it's too ambitious for its budget. I remember the budget being about 50 million or something like that. But, you know... And it was also like Snake was set up for action figures or something. You know, you can imagine that new Snake Plissken with a motorbike, a hand glider, a surfboard, and all the rest of the stuff that he ends up, a basketball and all that kind of thing. It just felt like, you know, there was possible merchandise opportunities in that for it, but that never came through. It's fine watching it. It's got a great score. Shirley Walker's score for the film is fantastic. It really is. Got a real Western feel to it. Okay, here we go with this one. Which movie do you think this is from? John Carpenter is a piece of shit. I love that. I've seen that clip. I've seen the clip. Don't put your answer in there yet, folks. I've seen... Draw. I've seen the clip of the guy questioning him saying, what happened to LA? And he just goes, fuck you. Okay, here we go. Post your answers now. Just the film title. Yeah, most of you have got that one. It is indeed Village of the Damned. Max Wren, you got there first. There we go. The marauding townsfolk from Village of the Damned. You just see what the scores are. Brandon, where his last update was. Okay. So Max Wren, you're now on 4, I think. Well done, sir. Closing in on Brandon. So many of you got that one correct as well. So we had Bionic Zombie got that correct. Don Mack, Colonel Mustard, Zoe got that correct as well. Count, Paul H, Nick, Bloody Boston, Evil Alex. Never seen Village of the Damned, but a lot of people seem to like it. Might have to check it out. Yeah, I do. I like it. I do. I think it's quite creepy. It's definitely, I mean, I think at the time I was probably a little confused and let down by it, I think, just why Carpenter did that. But watching it years later, I mean, I watched it for the first time in a long time. I got a 4K of it last year. And I think Frank and I did a best and worst of episode on it. And we both really enjoyed it. You know, it's got a lot of atmosphere and the score's really good. And there's some really creepy moments to it. Yeah, the Scream Factory 4K is they've done a really good job on it. Really good job. And it's also sad to see, you know, Christopher Reeve in one of his final proper, you know, movie roles. Okay, next we have this. What is this? What does it even look like? Don't answer yet, folks. Evil Alex says it's one of the films I like as an adult way more. Yeah, I totally agree with you. Compared to Carpenter's best, it's probably only mid-tier, but Carpenter mid-tier is still better than most. Yeah, Bloody Boston, calm down. Okay, folks, put your answers in the chat now. Let's see who can get this one. Okay. Oh, wow. Look at that. Look at that. A slew of answers. A lot of them correct as well. Okay. We have Daz saying vampires. Looks like ants. Lenny TS1 says Halloween. Okay. Count 1970 says Prince of Darkness, ants. It is Prince of Darkness and the ants. As Professor Birak is leaving, I think it's his apartment, and he looks at the floor and sees all these ants on the floor. There's a lot of nature that's kind of going amok. It's just signaling that the sort of natural world's becoming corrupted. Yeah. Horrible pile of ants all kind of nesting or doing whatever they're doing at the side of the road there. Yeah, loads of you got that right there. Eric McKenna, Muckman got that. Brandon Collins got it. Evil Alex got it as well. Wraith got it. Jason got it. Who else got it there? Chester got it as well. Chester even gave us the year. Thank you, Chester. It's very handy. Okay. Moving on. It was due to the Antichrist. Very good. Very good, White Rose. Okay, next one is this one here. Prep your answers for the chat, folks. We've got a syringe going into a person's arm. The scores at the moment, don't post anything yet, folks. I'll do a recap of the scores before we say go. Brandon's got 5, Max has got 4, Wraith 3, Nick, Bionic, Daz, Count 1970, and Jason all have 2. And you can pop your answers for this one in the chat now. Okay, so we got a number of, let me just find where I am here. Okay, Wraith says The Thing. Paul says The Thing. White Rose says The Thing. Paul H says The Thing. Nick says They Live. Daz says Vampires. Muckman says The Thing. Brandon says The Thing. Evil Alex says Escape from New York. Duke says The Thing. Zoe says The Fog. F-Stop Cornea says The Thing. And Colonel Mustard says Escape from New York. We have Jason saying The Thing. It is The Thing. And it's Copper injects Blair. I'm trying to remember which scene it is. I think it's when Blair's in his little hut, isn't it? He gives him a little injection. Congratulations to Wraith, Jason, for that one. You got that correct, buddy. Good shout. Good shout. Yeah, well, you will be. You will be, because your message doesn't have to go around Tinternet. Just go straight in the chat. Yeah, it's what comes up on my screen. You were on my screen, Jamie. You were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th. Yeah, you. Oh no, hang on. There you are. You were about 8th. About 8th. Okay, so we have Brandon on 5, Max, Ren, and Wraith on 4, Nick, Bionic, Daz, Count 1970, and Jason on 2. I have to refresh your chat after posting your answer. Yeah, it helps to refresh now and again, just so that you're not drifting. I know some channels, they put adverts up during doing things like this, and it's a nightmare. I always turn adverts off for this. because you just don't need that happening while you're watching this. Okay, next one is on your screen now. F-Stop Cornea says, don't care where I am, just happy to be right once. Don't answer yet, folks. Don't answer yet. Hey, Davey. Davey Death Ray's here at the moment. Hey, everyone. I hope everyone is having a fantastic week so far. Yeah, it's going well. Bionic has 3. Okay, thanks, Brandon. And, folks, when you're ready, you can post your answers for this frame now. Muckman jumped the gun, so he's disqualified. Jamie, wait. If you'd have waited, you might have got that there. Okay, Maya's number 1. So you can't be Maya's number 1 fan if you didn't get this. It says Prince of Darkness. Max Wren 82 says Halloween. Paul H says Halloween. Daz says Christine. Wraith says Prince of Darkness. Marisol says Halloween. Nick, Prince of Darkness. Brandon, Halloween. It is, of course, Halloween, where Jamie's approaching the door, or Laurie's approaching the door. And that's the shot of the door from the other side, just as Laurie walks in. There you go. So Maya's number 1 fan is no longer Maya's number 1 fan. Who got it first? Let's have a look. It was, I think it was Max. Max Wren 82. So that makes things a little interesting now. Brandon and Max Wren are now on 5 each. Whoa, this is... To be fair, you're at Maya's number 1 fan, not Laurie number 1 fan. Yeah. So we have a tie at the moment. Brandon and Max on 5 apiece. Yeah, it gives it away, Paul. It does give it away. Okay, next one is, what do we think this one is here? Now, you get a point for the film. You also get a point for the actor as well. Okay? I'm not going to give you time to Google this. Point for the film and a point for the actor. And put your answers in the chat right now. The actor is Boots Guy. Okay, so the first person with the correct answer there was actually... let me have a look. My screen's just jumped 1 second. Was actually Bionic Zombie. Congratulations. It is actually Escape from New York. It's the bum. He's credited as bum. And it's Carmen Felipe. It's the Reverend, whatever his name, Sawyer, Jackson Sawyer, or whatever his name is from Halloween 4. And his name is Carmen Felipe. And Paul H is the first person to say Carmen Felipe. So congratulations there. So Paul H and Bionic Zombie both get a point for that one. I couldn't accept Boots Guy, Wraith. Halloween 3, Atkins? Looks like the hermit from Halloween 5. No, it's the Reverend from Halloween 4. Gather at the river. Marisol says, Darren, I will be sending another strongly worded letter on my screen. I was first with Halloween. You'll get it. A lot of people claiming to be first on their screens. I think what I might do, folks, is that I'll figure out a way of putting the chat on the screen so you can actually see for yourself who's come up with the first correct answer. Okay, so the scores at the moment are Brandon and Max are on 5, Wraith and Bionic are on 4, Nick, Daz, Count, and Jason are all on 2. The beautiful, beautiful river. Okay, so this next one, I need the name of the film and the actor in the frame. Okay, and here you go. Name of the film and the actor. And you can go now. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, so we have Nick says They Live in Carpenter. We have Colonel Mustard says Escape from LA. When's my screen dropped there? Bear with me, folks. Wraith said Village of the Damned and John Carpenter. We have John Carpenter and Starman. Village of the Damned and John Carpenter from Paul H. Bodybag says Bionic Zombie. Brandon says Village of the Damned, John Carpenter. Muckman says Prince of Darkness, John Carpenter. And Chester says Big Trouble in Little China, Kurt Russell, Jack Burton. Sorry, Chester. It's a good guess. It's a good guess. I know what you mean. The cap and all that sort of thing. Yeah. But I don't ever remember Jack Burton having that long ponytail. But he did have a bit of a mullet. So, okay. The first person to get it right was Wraith, I think. Village of the Damned and John Carpenter. He got 2 points there. He got both. It is a little cameo. It's kind of a little Hitchcock cameo in Village of the Damned. There it is. It's just the camera pans and he's just on the phone at the phone box. It's near the start of the movie. And yeah, there's John Carpenter in a rather oversized leather jacket. I couldn't remember his hair being that long. Okay, Brandon, Max, and Wraith are all on 5. Bionics on 4. Nick and Daz and Count and Jason are all on 2. Is he asking when he gets paid? He probably is. Too many Village of the Bleeding Dam pics. Never seen it. Says you should watch it, Jamie. I think you'd probably quite like it. It's quite cool. I think I really do recommend it. Okay, next one's coming up on your screen right now. Have a look at it. Think about what it is. I'm not going to ask you for the make of the car or anything like that. Just the name of the movie. And you can pop your answers in the chat now. I've yet to see Carpenter's Village of the Damned, but it's on my watch list for this year. Yeah, it's worth a watch, Davey. It really is. Like I say, I hadn't seen it for a good 30 years or something, and I watched it for the second time last year. Really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. Bloody Boston says In the Mouth of Madness. Colonel Mustard says The Fog. Muckman says The Fog. Brandon says In the Mouth of Madness, as does Don Mac. The Fog from Jason. Duke says In the Mouth of Madness. And Bionic Zombie says that too, as well as Count. And Mac says, I think it's a Ford Taurus. I wouldn't have a clue. I wouldn't know. Okay, yeah, the answer is In the Mouth of Madness, and it's Sam Neill escaping the Hobbs End locals. And the first person to get it was now Bloody Boston. Full titles are required, I think. He put Mouth of Madness. I'll give you it. But we do require full titles. for this, because you were pretty quick in there. And I know Brandon's going to be cross there because he was the second person, and I know he's in the lead. But I think, yeah, I will give you it on this occasion. But I think moving forward, we do need full titles in there. It is a great metal soundtrack. It's got a great opening track from Carpenter. Boston, you lucky shit. It's a good job there's no prize or anything at stake here. No, like, money pot or anything like that. Thank you, lesson learned. Okay. We now have, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4 left to go. So Brandon and Max and Wraith are on 5, Bionics on 4, Nick, Daz, Count, Paul H, and Jason Lidkier are on 2. Okay, I'm going to put 2 points up here. I want the movie and the actor that's in this frame. There we go. Cue things up, folks. Cue things up. And when you're ready, you can post in the chat now. No one gets caught out with a Halloween frame at all. Like, I would spend half an hour just going, what am I looking at there? What the hell am I looking at? Where's the actor? Now, you can see, well done to, who was it now? Daz. Daz was first on my screen. You can see Nick Castle's mask just under the Only Sans logo, as he's getting out of the car outside the Doyle house, I think it is. I think it's the Doyle house anyway. Michael exit in the station wagon. Max Rennie also got that correct. He was second. Brandon was third. Colonel Mustard was fourth. Paul H, fifth. Then we had Muckman got it right with Halloween, and Myers #1 fan did as well. Don Mac 3000 Halloween and Michael Myers. It was the actor rather than the character, Don Mac. Halloween 1978, Nick Castle, Michael Myers when he pulls up to the curb, says Chester. Chester, if you hadn't written all that out, you could have won this. Do you know what page of the script it was? It might have been handy to put that on there as well. I'm messing with you. I'm messing. Okay, so Brandon and Max and Wraith are all on 5. Bionics on 4. Daz is on 3. Nick, Paul H, and Jason Lidkier have all got 2. The chat's not actually over it. That's the top of the frame. That's actually the top of the frame, is that? So his face is kind of obscured by the top of the frame. I got to be honest, I think I had at least one stroke trying to make heads or tails with that one. Tougher than those damn magic eye pictures. You can't fox a Halloween fan at all. You can't. Okay, right, folks. Which John Carpenter movie is this? And no, I don't need a blood type or anything like that. Just which movie? Let me know what it is. I'm going to put the prompt in the chat. And you can answer in 3, 2, 1, go. I think I've foxed a lot of you with this one. So we have Jason saying Assault on Precinct 13. Colonel Mustard says Christine. Daz says Prince of Darkness. Davey Deathray says Assault on Precinct 13. Max Wren says Assault on Precinct 13, as does White Rose. Prince of Darkness says Myers #1 fan and Chester. Muckman says They Live. Duke says In the Mouth of Madness. Christine says Colonel Mustard. Don Max says Assault on Precinct 13, as does Count. Brandon, SOS, Bernade. Bodybag says, oh, you're just throwing all sorts of titles in here. It is. We do have a correct answer. Just one of you have got it. Or if I count In the Moth of Madness as well. But Duke was first in there. It is In the Mouth of Madness at the start of the movie when John Trent's having those kind of nightmare visions and everything in the hospital. And one of them is the blood all over the wall. So well done, Duke. You get the point. Yeah, I've stopped. I left Invisible Man out of this. Just like, I don't think anybody would have got it. I think people had watched that film when it first came out and have never gone back to it since. I don't know anybody that's watched that film more than once. Yeah, well done, Duke. That's great. Okay, we have 2 more left. Here's your penultimate one. Think about this. I'm going to put my message in the chat and you guys can go in 3, 2, 1, go. It's chat did explode on that one, but when I was doing a bit of a red herring by saying think about this because I thought some of you might have gone with Halloween because I think there's a similar sort of shot on the TV in Halloween, and some of you did say Halloween. Bionic Zombie said Halloween. Daz said Halloween, but yeah, no, it is The Thing. And it's they're examining that recovered Norwegian footage that you... Ah, dear. Sorry, Daz. Oh, dear. You better get a point here. I jumped the gun to beat the lag. You did. You're trying to time it now. Yeah, it's The Thing. It's The Thing, and congratulations to Muckman. Muckman got it first. You're in the 2 club, mate. Well done, Jason. Jamie, sorry. We have 1 left. 1 left to do. You tricked me. I thought more people would go with Halloween on this one. I thought I'll do a really obvious one. That's a bit of a curveball, but no one was going to fall for it whatsoever. Pretty much all of you went with The Thing. Okay, let's see what people think of this one. This is your final one, folks. And here we go. Hold for a second. And just before we go, the scores are Brandon, Max, and Wraith on 5, Bionic on 4, Nick, Daz, and Count, and Paul, and Jason all on... Nobody said go. Nobody said go. All of you are disqualified there. No, nobody said go yet. Damn it. Now go. Okay, let me have a look at my chat. There were so many of you came back in on that one. All of you are too trigger happy. All of you are far too trigger happy. Okay, so welcome to the bottom feeders, Muckman. Oh dear, you guys live near each other as well, Muckman and Count. Muckman goes drinking in Fanny's Paul. Okay, 1 second. Let me just have a look. Only Sands, post your let's go. Maya's #1 fan gets it correct, and it's Prince of Darkness. There we go. And it's Frank Wyndham getting stabbed to death by I think it's a zombie, isn't he, with scissors, and then he becomes like a zombie himself afterwards. But yeah, it's quite a nasty old scene when he's getting stabbed in the back. So many of you got that right. Nick, Wraith, Max Rennie, Bionic Zombie, Daz, Evil Alex, Eric McKenna, Muckman, Zoe Kavanagh got it right as well. Bloody Boston got it right. Count got it right. Brandon got it right. Chester, Don Mac, Stephen. Yeah. Congratulations to everyone there who got that. But that makes no difference to the end of the competition here. It's a 3-way tie for first, as Brandon says. Brandon, Max Wren, and Wraith all got 5 points. Congratulations to Nick, Daz, Count. Sorry, actually, Bionic Zombie got 4. Nick, Daz, Count, Paul H, Muckman, and Jason Lidkia, all with 2. Well done, folks. That was interesting. I think we'll move back over to this screen over here. I think next week, we'll do something a bit different next week. We'll change it up. We'll do something slightly different. I'll put some polls out this weekend or something, see what you guys want to do, whether we want to go back and do a tier ranking or maybe a poster, name the poster type thing. But yeah, let's do something a little different next week. I still want to do one at some stage of Elm Street, maybe later in the year. But yeah, that was fun. It was fun. I had a lot of fun putting it together. I had a lot of fun here tonight doing this, and it was a little quicker than it normally is. Usually we're going for around about 2 hours, but tonight we're pretty much done in 90 minutes. That's testament to you guys. I guess it makes it easier when you're thinking of a John Carpenter film, so you kind of home in on these things a little easier than you do if it's just kind of horror in general or something. But no, that was good. We'll stick around for a little bit longer. I'll have a look at the chat. Tiebreaker, explain the quantum physics behind the plot of this film. On the next stream, can we put the year next to the movie? Okay. I mean, will that make a difference, Chester? Myers #1 said you should do paper, scissors, and rock, all 3 of you. It's difficult to do a tie break in this sort of. I tell you what we could do. I've had these sitting at the side of me now. Now, if the 3 of you are still here, which is, let me just see. If Brandon, Max, Wren, and Wraith are still here, I have these horror Trivial Pursuit cards that have been sitting at the side of me now for about 5 years. And I could read out a question here. Cue you all up, the 3 of you. Just confirm to me that you're still in the chat. So we have Brandon, Max, Wren, and Wraith. Are you both still there? You're there? You're there? Okay. Let me pull out a random question. Oh, that's a killer, that one. Okay. I'll go with the first one on this card because the second one's a pain in the arse. I don't know any of you that would know that, or maybe some of you would. Okay, so no one answer this other than Brandon, Max, and Wraith. The question is, what was Army of Darkness originally going to be titled? Now, don't answer yet. Once I put the message in the chat, then you can answer. What was the Army of Darkness originally going to be titled? Okay. 3, 2, 1, answer. See if anybody can get this. No, nobody got it right. Daz got it right, in fact. The actual answer was The Medieval Dead. I think I actually knew that as well. But yeah, Daz got it right there. Okay, let's go for... I tell you what, let's go for another one. For the three of you as well. And I'm going to read out this second question, which I thought was a bit of a tough one. But let's see, maybe you guys might get it. Okay. What is the name of the band Mary Collingwood and Phyllis Stone are going to see at the start of The Last House on the Left from 1972? And don't answer yet. Give you guys 3 or 4 seconds. 3, 2, 1, go. Everybody's frantically Googling there. The Rippers. No, it's not the Rippers. Wraith. Brandon gets it. Well done, Brandon. It is Bloodlust. Yeah. Okay, so Brandon wins. Well done. That was a tough. I would never have got that. I mean, I bloody, I struggle to watch that film as it is without without remembering what band they're going to see in the film. For God's sake, oof. But yeah, congratulations, Brandon. Brandon is our winner. Let's see what's going on in the chat here. Army of Darkness in Japan is called Captain Supermarket. Really? Okay, yeah, with the Quickie Mart thing at the end, maybe. Folks, if you got, I've got a few more minutes, so if you've got any questions or anything like that, then pop them in the chat. Jordan Decker says, "Hey Jordan, how are you doing?" He says, "Well, of course, Brandon Collins wins. He's a human encyclopedia of horror." Hey Liana, good to see you. Max says they were going to see whoever was playing that goofy kazoo during the comic relief scenes. I like the title Medieval Dead. I do. I think it's a good title, but I do remember that title being sort of thrown around. Yeah. Have I seen the new Night of the Living Dead trailer? I did see it. I thought it was pretty dreadful, wasn't it? Pretty dreadful. But there's like a few, like Hollywood, I wouldn't say A-list at all, but certainly some people that have made some big Hollywood films that are in it. And Rob Van Dam, for some reason, he's in there. But I was watching, I think it was Planet CHH. He was doing a little review of the trailer the other day, and he was saying that he feels that those names that are in that film are probably going to be only in it for a few moments. I can't see that they would have. It's so low budget, so low, and so poorly shot and everything, and the makeup looks terrible. But there's been a few of these Return of the Living Dead kind of remakes over the years. Not Return of the Living Dead, Night of the Living Dead remakes over the years, and they're just dreadful, aren't they? Dreadful. Apart from the Savini one, of course. Has the monthly watch-along film been decided, Darren? No, I'm going to put a vote out tomorrow, actually. So we'll decide over the weekend, and then I've got the week to kind of prep my stuff for it. So, yeah. That'll be a week on. That's on the 26th, a week on Sunday. And folks, if you're interested at all, there's a member scheme where there's additional content on there. We do additional live streams and watch-alongs as well. So if you're interested, there's a link down below as a join button. But if you're an Apple on an iPhone, I'd advise you to sign up on a computer, because Apple hiked the price up, which is really annoying. When you've done a video telling people how much your member scheme is, and then Apple add a premium, like a surcharge on top of that, which is like $3 or something. It's ridiculous. So if you are going to sign up, do it from a desktop computer or do it from an Android phone, and you won't get that premium added on. Yeah, I thought it was. I just watched it and I thought, I've just no interest in this at all. I got the 20-year-old Sid Haig 3D remake. Never watched it. It's red and green. Yeah, I do remember that one coming along as well. I do. I remember them actually colorizing the original Night of the Living Dead in the sort of mid to late 80s, Night of the Living Dead in color. And it was that kind of colorization that was all like pastel colors. It looked awful. Like, I know that the guy, the zombie that attacks Barbara at the start had like bright yellow hair or something. It just looked really weird. What the hell was the point in colorizing that? Third Man says, what's Darren's YouTube channel these days? Anyone? What? I gather you're going to type that out again. You've retracted it. Kurt Russell, that's something Mr. Riker would have done. He makes quiz questions worthy of Mensa. Any thoughts on the search? Yes, I really. In fact, I met Robin for a drink a few weeks ago. The guy that runs Creator VC, and he was telling me all about it and who he wants in it and that sort of thing. But yeah, I'm really excited about In Search of Darkness 1970s. And yeah, obviously I think they're going to go, they will. It's obvious they'll go big on The Exorcist in that film, in that documentary. It's going to be difficult. He explained to me it's going to be difficult to do because a lot of people that are associated with a lot of the Halloween not the Halloween movies, the horror movies of the 1970s are no longer with us, sadly. And so, it's going to be a lot of research tracking, searching certain people down. But also, I think they're going to have a lot more talking heads for this documentary as well, because the talent just isn't around or is incredibly old now. So we'll see, though. It should be good. It should be good. Thank you, Jamie. Thanks. Yeah, thanks for showing up, man. That's really cool of you. Thanks. Ted Turner was on a mission to colorize everything for some reason for a minute there. Yeah, it was terrible. I remember renting it from my first experience of seeing Night of the Living Dead was the colorized version. And the only reason I did it was because I saw Dawn first, and then I rented Night in color, and it just looked bloody awful. And it wasn't until years later, when it was on Channel 4, I think, over here, that I actually saw it in black and white and thought, actually, this is really fucking cool. I think the Night of the Living Dead budget went mostly on some big name cameos in the trailer. Yeah, and half a dozen zombie makeups. Yeah. What is Frank's YouTube channel these days? Yeah, I thought you might have meant that. So I put a link to Frank's channel. So he does have his Frankly Speaking channel where he does, he talks about movies. But he and I chatted, and like, he likes to talk about comic books as well. A lot. He's into collectibles and comic books and things like that. And what would happen if you did that on your YouTube movie channel? The algorithm would get incredibly confused if you're talking comics one week and movies the next week. So what Frank decided to do was section off his comic talk and stick that on a separate channel. So I think, the link's there. It's pinned in the chat. If you don't mind clicking on that and showing Frank some support for his new comic book channel, I'm sure he'd really appreciate it. I don't think he's in the chat tonight. But I think over the next week or two, I think we're probably going to get together and do an episode of some sort, maybe on this channel, I think. So you will see us back together soon. I know somebody was asking in Davey Deathray's chat yesterday, what's happened to the slaughtered lamb? Nothing's happened to it. We just took a break. That's all. And we'll see how things lie as we start doing more stuff together. So yeah. The new Return of the Living Dead is apparently out sometime this year. Now, yeah, apparently around Christmas time, I think, but not so sure about. We'll see. I mean, obviously, I'll watch it. I'll give it a watch, but I'm trying not to get too excited about it. They did put Devon Sawa's in it for some reason, isn't he? Darren, do you think the newer colorization tech, like the type used by Weta, would make colorization for certain older films, colonization? Yeah, possibly. I don't know though. I just think, particularly with horror, I think horror works really well in black and white. Those of you that have seen, things like The Mist and Hush in black and white, they're really effective, really effective. So I'm not sure I really want to see Peter Jackson coloring in classic black and white horror films. I don't know. Dad says, I remember the Sun included a DVD with both the black and white and color version of Night of the Living. That rings a bell. That does ring a bell, Daz. Yeah, I think I think I remember that. They used to put DVDs on the front of their newspaper, didn't they? I know you're not into gaming, Darren, but have you ever looked at the virtual cabin on the Friday the 13th game on YouTube? I have watched. I have that game. I have the Friday the 13th game, and I have played it. But have you looked at the virtual cabin on YouTube? I'll have a look. I haven't. No, I'll have a look. But I am going to get the Halloween game when it comes along. That'll probably the first time I've booted up my PS5 since I bought it. I think it's just kind of sitting there. It's just this big clumsy shiny ornament that I've got in the lounge. Do you go to any conventions, Darren? I do. For the Love of Horrors this weekend, I'm not going to it this weekend because I'm taking a holiday at the end of the month, so it was kind of too close and stuff. I'll be going to Sheffield HorrorCon in June, and I'll be going to For the Love of Horror in November when it's on towards the end of the year. But yeah, I do conventions in the UK. I enjoy them. I spoke about this a little bit on my members episode the other day, that it's becoming a little too oversaturated in the UK as the convention circuit. It's like everybody's trying to get in on it. And whereas you just kind of used to have 2, there's now maybe 5 or 6. And, I kind of feel like I should stay loyal to the ones that I started with. Because you kind of, you have a good rapport with people that go there. There's a community that always meets up. And so I feel like I should continue with Sheffield and For the Love of Horror. And I do prefer Sheffield the most. The Sheffield HorrorCon's really cool, really cool. And more kind of, the people that go and the guests that they have are more people sort of my age group. So it's good. Max says, I think the problem would be that a lot of those black and white films weren't filmed with color in mind, so things like the blood being chocolate and things would stand out. Yeah. Count says, understandable for Frank. I have my fingers in so many pies, I confuse my own algorithm. And Don Max says, colorized versions would get a new copyright, so Ted Turner wanted to do that to all the old movies he bought from MGM in the 80s. Yeah. Backtrack Cinema sends in $2 says, great job on your channel, buddy. Thank you, Jason. Thank you. I was watching your Cobra video the other day that you did. And I also watched the one that you did on 81 Horror with Davey and, was it Matt Facci, I think? Yeah. Yeah, the Escape from the Escape from New York remake is on again. I believe it when it happens. I'd rather have a third with Kurt. Yeah. Someone wrote that in the, I think it was Brandon maybe, that said, look, if you're not going to pull out Kurt and do another one, then he's not really interested. He could kind of, why not? If Harrison Ford can do Indy in his 80s, then why can't Kurt Russell do Snake in his late 70s? He still looks amazing. He was over here for a few weeks doing all the chat shows promoting both Godzilla and that bloody Taylor Sheridan thing with Michelle Pfeiffer. I can't remember the title of it. He was over here with his son as well. And a lot of people seem to be jumping on the bandwagon of getting Wyatt Russell to do it, you know. But Wyatt Russell turned around and said, look, why would I do that? You know, I'm older than my dad was when he first did it. So why would I? Like, Wyatt Russell's in his mid-40s or something, isn't he? I think. And, you know, Kurt Russell was probably in his early 30s when he played Snake Plissken first time round. So, yeah. But look, you know, I don't mind if they do it because I've still got the original in many formats up there. And for me, it doesn't take anything away from the original whatsoever if they remake a film. There was a few people getting a bit arsey in the message that I put up the other day. I just asked for people's opinions, and people can be so terse and rude and all that sort of thing. And I just think, look, you know, it's just a film. If you don't want it, that's fine. But you don't have to swear and curse and all that sort of stuff and, you know, go against people because they quite like the idea. It was just an odd sort of forum the other day. And yeah, I think, look, if they've been talking about it for so long now, it was even, at one stage, it was even at the company that I work for, and nothing happened. And then I'm guessing the rights lapsed and went on somewhere else. And but yeah, Studio Canal seem to have all the Carpenter stuff at the moment, and they have The Howling as well, which is interesting. So I wonder if they've done like a deal for the Avco Embassy catalog at some stage. Maybe they have. I don't know. But they're talking about doing The Howling, which I watched the other day. So I managed to get this 4K. It's an odd steelbook, and I watched it the other day, and I still think it's great. I still think it's terrific. For me, it doesn't require a remake, but I guess out of the two Wheel films that came out at that time, The Howling has probably dated the most. And it's not because of the effects work at all. It's just as a film itself, I think it's dated more than American Werewolf in London. I think there's a few hokey shots in there, like the animation around the fire that they use and everything. But what I do love the effects in The Howling. I think, you know, Rob Bottin's effects are terrific. And what I love about them is you get such a long look at what he's doing in that film. The camera stays on Eddie Quiz or whatever his name is. I can't remember his bloody name now. It stays on him for ages, so you can get a real good look at the makeup that Bottin's done and the bladder bags and all that kind of thing bursting on his face. And so I really like that. I mean, it seems to be the same in a lot of Bottin's films. He likes to hold the camera on the work that he's done. Like The Thing, you get some great shots in The Thing, and you get ages to kind of marvel at what he's created. And I find that in The Howling, I really like it for that. And also, it's got one of the creepiest scenes. And I know, Paul, you're a big fan of that scene as well, which is when the girl opens the filing cabinet up and gets the file out, and the werewolf just grabs it out of her hand, like out of nowhere. And it's such a terrific, creepy moment, is that. But yeah, if they want to remake The Howling, fine, but we've still got the original. And 6 shit sequels or whatever they did. Colonel Mustard says, I'm also going to Sheffield and For Love of Horror in November. Horrified was really good last month. Oh, okay. Yeah, Horrified's one that, yeah, I think it's just, for me, it's just too much. And yeah, I don't know many people that go to Horrified. So, but yeah, if you're in Sheffield or For Love of Horror in November, definitely come up and say hello, for sure. Top 5 favorite scenes in a Carpenter movie. Oh, Chester, bloody hell. God, I'd have to think about that one, Chester. That's a big question to just come at me at the end of a show with. What's the worst John Carpenter film for you? Is we did a Slaughtered Lamb episode and got people to vote on that, and I think Ghosts of Mars was the one, which is a shame because it's the one John Carpenter film that I had the pleasure of being involved in at one stage 20 odd years ago. I don't think it's quite. I would lean into possibly Memoirs of an Invisible Man. I think I can watch Ghosts of Mars. It's not great. I can watch it. I've never been a fan of Dark Star. I do own it. I own a 4K of it down there, and I've tried umpteen times to kind of get into it. But I'm not going to say Dark Star's a worse film than Ghosts of Mars at all, because I don't believe that. Or Memoirs of an Invisible Man. Because I think, Dark Star has its plaudits and a lot of critical recognition, and Brandon will never mod for me again if I shout all over it. So... there's a steampunk weekend in Haworth on Saturday the 2nd and 3rd of May. Going to go gothic, girls in basques and leather sounds awful. I'm actually away that weekend in Spain, so I wouldn't be able to do it. But, eventually I'm going to move back up there, Paul, so I'm sure we'll get a chance to do it again. And I'll probably be moving around that area as well. Now that you've told me that. No. Definitely be moving around that sort of area. Memoirs of an Invisible Man will always be the worst John Carpenter film for me because it absolutely doesn't feel like a Carpenter film. It was just a job for money. Yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible. Terrible. Wasn't Lockdown the rip-off Escape from New York that JC took to... Lockdown. Was it Lockdown or Lockout or something like that? The what do they call him now? The Australian actor, Michael. I can't remember his name. No, he played Mike in Neighbours. That was it. Guy Pearce. That was it. Yeah. Lockout. Yeah. Lockout. It was. I quite like that. The Luke Besson produced thing. Yeah, he did. He sued them, didn't he? Because it was just kind of a rip-off. Interesting though that Doomsday never got that treatment, but I think the fact that right from the press tour onwards, Neil Marshall credited John Carpenter all the way with that film and said, "This is my love letter to John Carpenter," and I think that stopped any nonsense with getting sued or anything like that. But yeah, Doomsday is a great film. I need to get the 4K of Doomsday. I really like that film. The British Escape from New York. Terrific. People rude on the internet? Nah, yeah, people can. And we're not that sort of community at all. And so when somebody does come in with a really kind of shrill and terse, few sentences of diatribe, I'll just think, fuck off. We don't want you here talking like that, Kurt Russell said in an interview, if they ever do an escape movie again, he will come back he will only come back unless Carpenter's directing. Carpenter can't direct anymore because of his age. Yeah, he's not capable of doing that, not unless he sits on a chair at home and does it, and that's not going to happen, is it? With who has the rights to our Studio Canal? They're not going to do that. I remember them considering Charles Bronson for the original Escape from New York and Carpenter not wanting him because he was too old. So imagine he'd feel the same way about doing another one with Kurt now. I don't know. I think if the money was... Carpenter's always said recently in interviews if he would direct again, and he said, yeah, he would. but no one would want to work with him. I don't think. I think that sounds awful, but I'm with you. I probably think he's just probably maybe not up to it as well, which is a shame. It would be nice for him. I wouldn't want him to get involved in a studio film. I would like him to do one small movie with Kurt Russell. I know Dave said this as well, but we've both talked about it loads of times. Just do one small final movie with him. Make it good, independent, so there's no pressure around you. And just a kind of swan song, the two of you. It'd be fantastic. It really would. Paul says, in town here, there's an original underground Victorian street with shops sealed off from the public. Doing a ghost hunt down there in July with Taz if you fancy bringing your proton pack. Is that the vaults and everything? Is that what that is? Because I have been there. I don't think Carpenter has been physically able to direct for about 15 years now. He's not putting in these 18-hour days for months on it. Yeah, I doubt that. I was surprised he went back out on tour again. I really was. And he's having too much fun playing video games and working on music and stuff. Yeah. Colonel Mustard says, do you agree Halloween 3 is underrated? Always skipped it as a kid, but it's now in my top 3 of the franchise. I don't think it's underrated anymore. I think it's got the recognition that it deserves from the fan base. There's still a few people that won't have anything to do with it, but on the whole, I think most people have embraced it now, and I really like it. I've liked it for a good 20 years or so. I was confused by it when I first saw it. I remember being a young kid wandering around Norwich in the UK and seeing the poster for the film, being completely confused by it with this witch's face. We had this really weird witch's face poster in the UK, which I'd love to get a quad poster of. And it said on there, the night no one comes home. And I was so confused by it. I'd seen the original Halloween. I think I maybe even seen Halloween 2 at that point, and I would have been 10.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Thank you. I would have been about 10, and yeah, it was probably a couple of years before I actually saw it on VHS, but it was disappointing at the time. Then just over the years, and especially loving Atkins so much in movies like The Fog and then Night of the Creeps, you get a Maniac Cop as well. You go back and you look at it and you go, actually, this is okay. This guy's pretty cool in this film. You like the end where they're shouting, where they're debating with the ships as to why it shouldn't kill them all, though there was clever. Oh, you're talking Dark Star now. Okay. What did you do on Ghost of Mars? It wasn't long after I'd started working at the company. So what year was it? 2001 or something like that, I think. And we did some screenings with him, and yeah, it was versioning for the UK. So I was making sure the movie got the right rating, negotiating with the production to make sure we got what we needed. And then, yeah, when he I think he came in and did some festival screenings or something like that. And he did support it. He supported it. But yeah, it wasn't a great deal compared to some of the stuff that I've done since then. How can you hate a film with a big squeaky inflatable tomato alien? With the Dark Star? Oh God, yeah. Lockout has terrible CGI effects, as bad as what's in. Yeah, you kind of have to look a little bit beyond them. I do like the story behind Lockout and everything. The fact that Guy Pearce literally came on board with like 3 weeks before they started to shoot and had to get into shape and everything physically, because he's got these huge guns in the film. And basically he spent 3 weeks with this trainer just working on his arms so he looked cool in that bloody vest that he was wearing. But yeah, it's fine, but it does shriek of a complete rip-off, doesn't it? My wife is going to shrill and terse with me when she sees the credit card bill I just shelled out for the Tots life-size leprechaun on Kickstarter. Yeah, that's better in your house than mine, I can put it that way. David Rose says Prince of Darkness has moved up into my top 3 films. Your top 3 Carpenter films, I take it you mean. Gotta go. I got a grocery delivery. Great stream, Darren. Have a wonderful night, folks. Thank you, Brandon. Cheers, buddy. Yeah, for some reason that kicked off. Oh, I get it, Paul. It's in Keithley. Okay. Cool. Marisol says, non-horror related, Darren. Do you need someone to carry your bags when you go see... Oh, Def Leppard. Is that what you're saying, Def Leppard? I presume. I'm taking my dad, actually. My dad, who's in his 70s. He's in his 70s. And we've been countless times to see them. Every time they come around, we kind of go and see them. And it's sort of, they've had this gig announced for over a year now. And I have a friend who works he's a... what would I say? He's a promoter, let's say, and he works with them. So I asked him, and he went, "Yeah, no worries." So yeah, sorted. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. They're always great live, and I hear this tour's been brilliant, and yeah, so really looking forward to that. Nick says, I think that Red Redemption game Carpenter would be ideal to direct if they brought that bloody Western game to life. Yeah, I don't. That's it. When he was younger, maybe, but now, no. I just don't think he's capable of those type of hours that's required of him to direct a movie. I think if it was something small and independently financed and done at his pace, but that would be like a huge studio effort, and there would be a release date attached to it and targets to meet and everything. And yeah, he'd lose his marbles. Oh, Dead Man's Shoes is on right now? Really? Oh, what a great film. Terrific movie. If you haven't seen Dead Man's Shoes, it's a British thriller/horror. Shane Meadows directed it. Paddy Considine's in it. It's really fucking good, really fucking creepy, and has a great twist to it. Really, really cool. And it's coming out on Second Sight, doing a box set of it fairly soon, which is really exciting. I can't wait for that. Okay, that's it, folks. I've been going for like 2 hours 10, I think, at the moment. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for everybody that took part. Congratulations to Brandon. Thank you again to Brooke, who joined the members scheme earlier. That's really cool. There's around about 50 members at the moment. It's really good. On Sunday afternoons we do live streams, and then we alternate that with watch-alongs and stuff depending on what tier you're on. So if you're interested, click the little join button down below. Have a look. There's a little video from me which talks about what we do on there. And I'm going to do some content this weekend. I'm actually going to do some bits and bats this weekend. So keep your eye out. You'll probably see something from me this weekend. But I will be back next Thursday, and I'll put a vote up as to what sort of stream we're going to do. It will be something interactive again, but I think we'll leave the frame fucked for a few weeks now, and maybe come back to it a couple of months down the line or something. But in the meantime, thank you so much for joining me. Congratulations again to Brandon, and I'll see you all soon. Cheers.